I'd just like to see her a little bit more level designed and a little more correct in her design to find herself any higher. The heifer that follows her is just a little bit quicker pattern. I like this heifer as far as a cow a lot. I like the substance to her, like the mass to her, and that's not why she's down here. She's just a little bit straighter off of that hind end. Tons and tons of middle in this heifer, a lot of flesh and ability. Very good kind of a heifer, just a little too jammed up. A high quality heifer all the way down here, this young man's heifer, this dark red heifer. You take her home and you breed on her, and I think there's a lot of ways you can go. For right now, my suggestion would be to take her to something more powerful because she just needs pulled apart. She is exceptionally green, and I appreciate that too when you bring her out here. But I think you and her get a few more shows under your belt, and she just kind of grabs that next gear, and I think you can find yourself higher because there is a lot of good in this heifer. She's just a little too flat made for me, especially in those pins, and she's flatter ribbed, and when you get behind her, she's a little too narrow constructed. But she balances out nicer in her top and her forerib and her hip than this heifer that follows her. This heifer is just kind of in three pieces a little bit. There's a lot of good in this female, and I like her in terms of her composition. She's just a little too tight in that forerib. She's a little bit too low pinned, and maybe just a little bit more, I guess, tubular in her rib design to find herself any higher. But she's enough more flexible to get over this heifer that concludes the class. This heifer's really, really good. I just don't like the way that hind leg ties in, or how her hip ties into her hind leg, just a little bit too straight, a little bit too frail, and a little narrow chested. She's a heifer that's got a lot of performance and a lot of length to her, just like to make her a little more mobile behind and pull her apart. But a big high performing heifer. Like I say, every heifer in this class has got a bull that'll complement them very well, and there's just a tremendous amount of breeding quality like you'd expect up here all the way to the end.
On the shorthorn side, I would just like to introduce the senior division heifer calves. First in the ring from our first split is 3110 HC Leading Lassie 5GET, exhibited by Horseshoe Creek Farms, additional owner of Martin Moore. Also 3126 Star P Lucy, exhibited by Star P Farms. From our other second split, we have 3101 RK Rosie 210G, exhibited by RK Cattle Co., as well as 3112 Bar 33 Yumi 1G, exhibited by Bar 33 Ranch. From our third split, we have 3103 RK Rosie 115G, exhibited by RK Cattle Co., and 3124 ACC Candies Ginger Snap 23GET. In our fourth split, we have 3131 Hawk and Giggle Girl, exhibited by Hawk and Shorthorns, as well as 3104 KMS Reflection 1874B 13G, exhibited by Lucky Spring Farms. And from our last split, we have 3113 Uluru Suzette 1G, exhibited by Lamontagne Holdings Limited, as well as 3123 ACC Candies Glossette 11G, exhibited by Anwender Cattle Company. Here's your senior division calves. Some comments from our judge.
In this class of senior heifer calves, heifers we're very, very happy with. Heifers we feel that have got enough muscle and depth of body. Heifers that get out and move very well. Heifers we feel are going to go out and make cows that are going to make some money for their owners in this industry. Heifers that we feel that are just going to do a lot of good. With that, I believe Matt will go and select our senior heifer calf and reserve the senior heifer calf champion.
Your senior division heifer calf champion is 3113 Uluru Suzette 1G, exhibited by Lamontagne Holdings. And our reserve senior division heifer calf champion is Hawken Giggle Girl 1G, exhibited by Hawken Shorthorns. We would like to thank our sponsors for the senior heifer calf champion, Fleury Auction Co. of Aberdeen, Saskatchewan, and Atlas Hotel Regina for the sponsorship of the reserve heifer calf champion. Thank you. We'll be having our bred heifers come into the ring next.
Now in the Hereford ring is Class 4D polled female born January 11th to January 25th, 2019. Take special notice of ring 2758 at the end of the line there. That is your Red Cloak Classic heifer for this evening. At the end of the show, that heifer will be drawn. The tickets will be drawn, and you can have the opportunity to win that heifer. So reminder, if you don't have your ticket or you need more, because you always need more tickets, they'll be for sale at the edge of the ring here or up in the stands. And to recap on Class 4C, polled female born January 26th to February 3rd, 2019. The class winner was CCR 7057 Kesha 14G, exhibited by Copper Creek Ranch. Coming in second was MHPH 68 Nita 203G, exhibited by Medante Highlands Polled Herefords. And third was JDL Janus Y79D 203G, exhibited by Arthur Polled Herefords and Blair Athol Polled Herefords. And fourth was ANL 420A Linda 51A 52G, exhibited by ANL Polled Herefords. And fifth was JRH DBK 79C Ebony 13G, exhibited by Green Ridge Farms. And sixth was CCR 7057 Bonita 21G, exhibited by Copper Creek Ranch. And seventh was RSK SCK 695D Miss Exkiona 13G, exhibited by RSK Farms with an additional owner of J.K. Frazier. In eighth was TCFC D519 Sky 922G, exhibited by the Cliffs Farms, additional owners of Dale and Joan Jansen and Karsten Grabler. In ninth was Harvey Lady Braxton 37G, exhibited by Harvey Ranching. In 10th was Manchester 37C Lady Luck 923G, exhibited by Manchester Polled Herefords and Wonderbar Livestock.
Versatile wishes the best of luck to all participants. The new Versatile Nemesis is the only Canadian-built tractor in the segment, designed for the toughest conditions.
Really a nice heifer to win the class here. I think she just puts the most together in terms of look and balance and stoutness. This heifer's got a lot of performance to her. I think she's awfully good, exceptionally long through that hip. She's a heifer, has got some chest floor in her, just a tremendous amount of good. I think there's just so much more heifer and enough more to her to get over this heifer in second. Long term, I think this heifer here is going to be awfully good. I love how youthful she is. Only question I have is if she's just quite stout enough, like our class winner. But I think if she goes and does the right things, this is definitely going to be one to look out for because her type and design is so good. She's got so much added look to her. She's exceptionally sound on her feet and legs. If she's just got enough forerib and lower hip in her, I think this is an awfully good heifer, especially down the road. The heifer here in third, just a little bit straighter up on that front end, kind of wants to get out underneath herself just a little bit when you ask her to stand. When you put her in motion, it gets better. I would like to relax her in her shoulder and just make her a little bit more comfortable out here. I like how level designed she is. I like how deep she is. She's square back through her hip. She's got some width to her pins. She's just an awfully good kind of a heifer. And I think there's enough more future to her to go ahead and get over this heifer here in fourth. This heifer's just a little bit quicker pattern than the ones ahead of her. I think she's just kind of just doesn't have enough true natural depth of rib for me. I think for one that's that stout and that cowy looking, like to see a little bit more substance down low to her and maybe just tone her up in terms of her composition a little bit. But she's enough more functional and just free off that shoulder than this heifer here that follows her. This heifer here is just a little bit too straight off both ends for me, and with that she gets a little bit more tubular, a little bit more narrow constructed as well. The heifer that follows her, I think, has got a lot to her. I love the top 2/3 of this heifer. She's just a little too shallow and a little too straight gutted for me. I think she's exceptionally long relative to her size. I think she's really, really long and really attractive. She just needs a little bit more middle, just soften her up a little bit and put more honest rib in her. The heifer here that follows her does have that, but I think with that she's just a little bit straighter and she's just a little bit tighter constructed than the heifer ahead of her. We conclude with a big high-performing heifer that's got some size to her. She's got some length to her. She's just a little bit too flat all the way through, primarily into that hip.
On the shorthorn side, we'll have some comments from our judge, Justin.
This first split of yearling heifers, we started the class off with a roan heifer. Heifer wins the class quite handily. A heifer, stand back and analyze, very long spine, female. Female gets home, moves very well. A heifer that's got adequate depth of body, a heifer we feel just wins the class very nicely. If we could change this heifer, maybe like to change those front feet a little bit to be, if we want to be nitpicky on her, but a very nice kind of a female. Get into a heifer in second, a power female, very stout made, very soft-sided. A heifer that's maybe just carrying a little bit more condition than we'd like to see today and change that crest a little bit to be any higher in class today. Get into a heifer in third, a very soft-sided female again, a very stout-made kind of female. A female we feel is just needing a little more extension up through that front end, maybe lengthen out that neck and trim a little of that brisket out of there to be any higher here today. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. First in class was 3141 South River Tiffany 65F, exhibited by South River Shorthorns. Second was 3142 Glenrose Dinah Rosewood 5F, exhibited by Lockview Shorthorns. And in third was 3137 Murraydale Genie 75F, exhibited by Murraydale Shorthorns. Coming into the ring now will be split 2 of our females born March 1st to December 31st, 2018.
Results from your Hereford ring, Class 4D, polled female born January 11th to January 25th, 2019. In first was Harvey Miss Firefly 22G, exhibited by Harvey Ranching. In second was ANL C 206E Stephanie 17EC 22G, exhibited by ANL polled Herefords. And third was ANL 71D Mariah 36Y 19G, exhibited by ANL polled Herefords. And fourth was Remitol W Yellow Rose 13G, exhibited by Remitol West and Wooden Shoe Farms, Idaho. And fifth was MR 118U Amy 454G, exhibited by Mission Ridge polled Herefords. In sixth was TCF A1 75D Red Fashioned 912G, exhibited by the Cliffs Farms, additional owner the Cliffs Farms. In seventh was Girls Eclipse 2G, exhibited by Hereford Girls. In eighth was XLP Reese, ET 87.